Hi, I'm Allison, and joining me today is Amanda, and we are still safe at home and hope that you are too. I know some of these days have felt so long. How about you?
Yeah, there's been a few long days. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I have had the most fun with since being home is seeing what comes to my little bird feeder on my balcony every single day.
Yes.
I know usually I'm only home for a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening before it's too dark for the birds. So I've been shocked to see how many different things are coming, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
a bunch.
yeah, there's a ton of things out there.
Yeah.
I know I counted 6 different species just the other day at my feeder.
Oh wow.
So with thinking about my bird feeder, I realized that today I wanted to talk about birds, which is probably not a surprise to anyone. I love to talk about birds. I do it all day, every day, if it were an option.
Not one.
Um, do you have a favorite bird?
Oh, my favorite local bird it's probably the tufted titmouse. I think they're adorable and they're feisty and I love their little flight pattern and their sassy hair. I love it.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. I love them. They are so cute and so fun to watch. My favorite is the turkey vulture of our local birds.
Aw.
So I have a picture of one of our turkey vultures at our education turkey vulture. His name is Volt. We'll pull up a picture of him so you can see how handsome he is. I know not a lot of people think that they're very beautiful birds, but their feathers are actually really pretty and they're really important birds.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of dead things, so they end up helping to keep us safe from disease. They don't have any feathers on their head because they're eating things that we all think are probably super gross. So that keeps their feathers from getting really messy. Um, they are just coming back. We started to see them at the probably end of February, and now our turkey vultures are all back from their winter break. They don't stick around here when it's really cold because not having feathers on your head means you're not going to be able to keep as warm as those birds that do have feathers on their head. So they're one of my favorites that we can see. They're not a common bird feeder bird, but they are a really cool bird. There are 10,000 and more. There are more than 10,000 species of birds all around the world. So one of the reasons I love birds so much is because you can find them everywhere. You can find them on every continent. If you go to Antarctica, you'll see skuas, which are kind of like big gulls. You'll see penguins. If you go to Australia, there's all kinds of cool parrots, like cockatoos there. There's cassowaries. In Africa, things like ostriches. There's birds everywhere. And in Ohio, we have about 400 species that have been reported in the state. So we have a lot of different birds that you can see in Ohio. So if we go to the ODNR website, we can see all of the different birds that are found in Ohio. So on the website, it has all of the birds sorted into different groups. And then all of the species are listed underneath those different groups. So we're going to click on the American crow so you can see what information is there. Speaking of birds, mine has joined me right here, Squirt. He said hello to everyone. He might come back. We'll see. So this is the American crow. It has all of the information about it. There's a description about the crow. This is one of our more common birds here in Ohio. Lots of people see them. Crows are, though they are very common, they are incredibly intelligent. So they're really amazing birds. They're as smart as on average as a 7-year-old child. They can make tools. They can recognize faces. So we have a little video of our education crow, Edgar. He is so much fun to watch. He's just so smart. So we have to give him a ton of different things to do in his cage. So this looks like a baby toy, but it's enrichment for him. So we'll see what he does with it. Is that your toy? I love watching him play with that thing.
He's into that thing.
He truly is. So enrichment is anything for an animal that helps to keep their brain busy. So we give Edgar lots of toys because he's so smart. We have to give him lots of things to keep him active and keeping that mind going. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to observe birds. One of the easiest ways is if you have a bird feeder. And you don't have to have anything fancy for a bird feeder. I have a little bird feeder that sticks to my window, but I also have an old flower pot. I killed the plant that was in it over the winter. Not the best, but I filled it up with seeds, and I have had quite a few different birds coming to that little feeder. One of my favorites is this little chickadee who keeps coming to visit. I think we have a picture of him.
There he is.
So the black-capped chickadee is one of my favorite birds. They're very small. They come and they usually take one seed, fly away with it, and then come back and take another seed. So a bird feeder doesn't have to be very elaborate. It can be a store-bought bird feeder. It can be a tray with bird food on it. Some people go all out with their bird feeders and they will get all kinds of different foods, because remember, whatever an animal, if you have the food that an animal eats, you're more likely to attract that animal. So if you have a lot of different kinds of foods out for birds, you're probably going to get a lot of different kinds of birds. So some people who like to watch the birds at their bird feeder, they set up some pretty elaborate things. One of my favorite things is the bird photo booth. So this woman set up, it's basically a little trail camera for your bird feeder. So she set this up, and you'll notice in the bowls, when you see different types of birds, you might notice a few different types of food in there. I think there's some mealworms and some jelly in some of the pictures that attract different birds. So I'll try to point out which ones those are. Awesome. So good.
Move us up out of the way. Okay.
Just some mourning doves there. A grackle.
Does that help you?
Yeah, we have some eastern bluebirds. You might notice in that bowl there's some mealworms in there as well. Another grackle, he was much more interested in this moth than the food. More mourning doves. I think they're so beautiful. Our northern cardinal.
State bird.
Yes. Blue jay. I love their crests. You can see you can probably tell it's a little bit windy, so their feathers are a little all over the place. Birds' feathers weigh more than all of the bones in their body. Their bones are super light to keep them able to fly. So their feathers some of them have a lot of feathers that keep them super warm. So you might notice some very fluffy birds in some of the pictures.
Oh.
The rose-breasted grosbeak. They're a really beautiful bird, and we should hopefully get them back here pretty soon as spring migration winds up or gears up. We have some European starlings. They're not a native species. Very ambitious blue jay.
That's his.
Mourning dove, gracefully mid-swallow of the seed.
Oh.
Two birds wanting to be in the same spot at the same time. We have our goldfinch.
Defending his spot.
Yes. a red-bellied woodpecker. So you can actually see its red belly in the picture. They're named for that red spot, but no one thought about how woodpeckers worked when they named them.
Oh,
He's a juvenile oriole.
very pretty.
Yeah. We have a ruby-throated hummingbird. So the food clearly changed here. They eat nectar and sugar water. And now it's back to seeds for our blue jay.
As these seasons change.
Yes. And our female northern cardinal.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, I love when people do this, because you can see so much more. Because anytime you look at your bird feeder, you're only seeing a snapshot of what's there. But if you have one of these cameras set up, you can see what came through the whole day. I just got one, so I'm hoping to set it up, and I'll share some pictures that I capture from it in some of our future videos. House finch. These are a really common one. You might start seeing them nesting in your hanging baskets.
Oh.
It's a very young bird.
Learning how to bird.
Yep. You'll see there's some more berries in the fruit in the winter, or in the bowl in the winter time. A lot of birds will eat more berries and things then. So that's a great way to see what birds are visiting your bird feeder. You can also sit by a window and just watch every day for a couple minutes. Now, it's fun to watch the birds, but I think it's even more fun to know what they are. So there are some tools to help you figure out what birds you're looking at. Now, you can use the ODNR page that does have all of those. It has pictures, it has information, and it will help you figure it out. But one of my favorite tools is the Merlin Bird ID app. Now, this app was put out by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and it is phenomenal. It uses all sorts of information that you give the app and gives you a prediction or a really, really good guess as to what bird species you're seeing. Most of the time, it's been right for me. There's even a new feature on it now where you can take a picture of a bird and it will try to identify it from the picture, which is really exciting. This app is completely free. So if you go to the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's website, you can get information about how to download it. So we have it pulled up for you right here. You can download it for free for Apple or Android phones. Now, I would tell you how it works, but they do a really good job of telling you how it works. So we'll go to that video and you'll be able to see exactly how the app works.
If you've ever wondered, what is that bird? Let Merlin help you unlock the mystery. Merlin is a new app from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. It makes bird identification easier by showing you the birds in your own area that match what you've seen. Merlin asks you a few simple questions. When and where did you see the bird? What did it look like? And what was it doing? Almost like magic, Merlin shows you the most likely species for your area on that day. But these aren't wild guesses. Merlin knows which birds are near you by tapping into eBird, a database with millions of sightings from birders around the world. It finds out which species you're likely to encounter and tailors results for your location. Browse Merlin's short list of photos to find your match. Once you know the name of the bird, a whole new world opens up. Listen to sounds. Learn more about where the species lives. Tell your friends about your new bird. Then, go find another bird to identify. Merlin helps you to explore the most familiar birds in the United States and Canada. Whether it's your first time watching birds or whether you've always wanted to learn more, Merlin is ready to help. download this free app from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology today.
Awesome.
So that is a really great tool. I know I use it a lot when I'm out hiking, and I either hear a sound that I don't know, or if I see a bird, I follow those questions, and it almost never steers me wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to know what birds you're seeing in your yard. Even if you don't have a bird feeder, you can still see a lot of different species. Remember, animals need food, water, shelter, space, and air. As long as those things are there, you can find wildlife. So let us know what birds you're seeing. If you don't know what it is, you can try using Merlin or send us a picture, and we're happy to help try and figure out what you're seeing. So enjoy. I hope you have fun watching birds and using some of these newer things. So thanks so much, and thank you, Amanda, so much for helping navigate through all of the pictures and things.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.